It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. This episode of Trivia Tracks is brought to you by Ouachita Valley Respiratory Care, where you can breathe a little easier, and Beth Smith at Edward Jones. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. This beloved Southern humorist demeanor and commentary made the whole country laugh. Louis Grizzard was known for his humor-laced columns for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and also worked as a stand-up comedian and lecturer. Louis McDonald Grizzard Jr. was born in Fort Benning, Georgia on October 20th, 1946. His father, who served in World War II and the Korean War, was a sole survivor of a Chinese attack that wiped out his platoon. He began writing early, publishing stories of his Little League team in the Noonan Times-Herald. Before graduating with a bachelor's degree in journalism in Athens, Georgia, Grizzard moved to Atlanta, joining the Atlanta Journal when it and the Constitution were separate papers, and becoming the youngest ever executive sports editor of the Journal at the age of 23. He later held that same job at the Chicago Sun-Times, a position marred by controversy involving the removal of several news columns written by Lacey Banks, the paper's first black sports columnist. This resulted in Banks charging racism against Grizzard and led to Banks' subsequent firing, though he was later hired back. After returning to Atlanta to write sports, Grizzard switched to writing the Humor Life column that eventually made him famous. He published this column about 4 days per week. At his peak, he was syndicated in 450 newspapers, made appearances on TV, and the stand-up comedy circuit. He often drew criticism for his remarks about the LGBT community and feminists, and his dislike for the New South. His reflections on the Old South of his youth were frequently misinterpreted. He refused to use a computer, writing every column or book on a typewriter. In spite of his success, Louis Grizzard's personal life was troubled, dominated by problems with alcohol and 3 divorces. He also suffered from a congenital heart defect, a valve problem. A few days after marrying for a 4th time, Grizzard died of complications of his 4th heart valve surgery on March 20th, 1994. He was 47 years old. Today, there is a Louis Grizzard Museum in Moreland, Georgia. Originally housed in a gas station by a fan, it is now a 2-story museum complex. Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me every Monday through Friday morning for Trivia Tracks on Fox Sports Camden 97.1.